Hello and welcome to episode 13, I want to say, of the Alliance Dispatch. I am always, as always, Dispatcher number 1. Danny, I've got with me Dispatcher number 2, 3, and 4. We almost had 5, but Jamie realised that his relationship might go down the pan if he spends 5 days this week involved with Star Wars Unlimited.
Yeah.
Just scared.
Yeah, it's a rookie
Monday,
mistake
Tuesday,
not putting in the
Thursday.
work at the weekend.
That's true.
That's what I do.
That's true.
Yeah. So today we have a load of stuff to talk about from locals, but more importantly, we had 3 cash prize events and a load of little events over the weekend in the States. I don't think we actually had anything in the UK. I don't.
Mox in the Hole had a
showcase.
winner showcase. Yeah,
Scotland. It barely counts.
but I don't think there was anything else.
Lovely.
Yeah, so obviously we've got Big Birmingham next weekend, which 2 of us are going to. Me and Michael, right? Yeah, Michael's nodding. Yep, good. And so this is the weekend where we can pull as much data out as possible and change the decks that we're playing based on what everyone's doing, or at least knowing what we're going to have to fight. Not that I've looked at any stats yet, because we'll take you over to Dispatch number 2, who's got the stats. I will give my hot takes. This will be the Alliance Dispatch hot take on Sage's stats.
Cool. So,
New segment, Sage's stats.
new segment, Sage's stats. Can we call it SS? No, we can't.
No.
We can't do it. Maybe the logo could come on and it's like 2 lightning bolts or something.
Oh.
Something like that. Yeah,
You're in charge of the
work
edit, so...
Okay, we'll work on it. I had a plan to do loads of stats, and then I was like, oh, that's really boring, and there's loads of people that already do that. So I whittled it down. There were 3, 5, 6. There were 9 tournaments that I managed to get info on. And it was quite a nice little spread, really. Kind of the anything that supplied a top cut. There was a nice kind of split of 5 areas. What do you think was the top one? As in most represented in a top cup?
Sabine, because there was that one tournament that had 3 Sabines in it and 1 something else. So I'm going to go Sabine Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Sabine as well. I think it's definitely close, probably between Django and Sabine, but yeah, Sabine.
Yeah, I think they're the main 2, aren't they?
And you don't need to buy set 3 cards to play Sabine.
True.
No, true.
You don't.
Very true.
You don't. Sabine was the second most represented. So 15% of the people that made a cut were a Sabine ECL. Interestingly, 2 people won a tournament with a Sabine.
First time ever,
which,
I think.
Yeah. But Django was the most represented, 17%, with Django Tarkintown. The new hot mess at the start of the weekend, 3 people won a tournament with that. Right. 17%. And then Anakin Blue, 8% of people in the top cut were Anakin Blue. I think that is probably we'll talk about Anakin in a bit, but I think that's probably going to be the big bad. I think in the set going forward, 1 person won a tournament with Anakin Blue, and then Ray Tarkintown, Han 1 Cunning, and Maul ECL were all tied with 5% of representation. Han Cunning won 2 tournaments over the weekend.
Nice.
And then Kira Green, Palp Yellow, and Quinlan Green were 3% of that representation in top cuts. And Anakin Yellow, I think there was only 1 that made a top cut that actually went on and won a tournament as well.
I was going to say, and it won, and it actually did.
Yeah, and it did. And then there was quite a big spread. I think there was another maybe 20 odd kind of lists that made the cut. One absolute baller. I need to try and find a list. A Rex droid manufacturer came second in a tournament.
Sure.
Go on.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
So
Rex's power definitely lives in double green, and Droid Factory is good when you're making 2-1s, right? So
yeah. So
not surprised.
yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. We all knew Sabine was gonna still be up there.
Yeah.
And we were all starting to possibly, we were all thinking that Django was going to be a showing at this weekend, particularly over that 3-day tournament period, mainly because of the kind of influence KTOD have. There was
the American meta, right? Like,
yeah, and there was a lot of KTOD guys there at the tournament, and a lot of them, well, I say a lot of them, a lot of the prominent ones were playing Django and doing well with it. But I think it's just really interesting, those SGC tournaments, because they're like a little mini season.
Yeah.
So the Friday, you have the more kind of hardcore players that go with what they think their top deck is. The Saturday, it's a slightly bigger tournament, so you'll have a few net listers, and then you'll have people who are just there to have a bit of fun. And then you'll have the hardcore people with their super meta decks. And then on the Sunday, people try and beat what was the meta the day before.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a PQ season just in one weekend, because it went from quite fast decks and mid range, hard control decks kind of being prominent. So
the same thing happened at Gen Con, didn't it? Like on the Friday, loads of Sabine, and then as you pushed through Saturday, Sunday, like more and more Boba crept in to beat up the Sabines.
Yeah. I wonder if, because the first one is on a Friday, maybe that encourages more kind of aggro in general, because you've probably travelled down on the Friday, you're playing the tournament the Friday afternoon, evening, and then you've got 2 more days afterwards. Yeah. Maybe people are like, I don't want to play like a big, I don't want to play like Chancellor Palpatine, like on the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday, so I'll play something a bit quicker and faster.
Yeah, well, I think with the launch of the set being so recent, playing building a control deck when you don't know what you're controlling other than maybe Sabine, and if you hard tech your control deck to beat Sabine, and then you get a nice mid-range flying in like Django, you're like, oh, my control's not right to beat Django's. So it makes it really awkward to build an efficient deck. So it just feels easier to play the aggro yourself and just see what happens. And then as the week progresses and the meta starts to settle, you can then move into your control deck because you'll know what people are playing.
Yeah, true. Any surprises there? Anything that you were kind of expecting to see do well this weekend that didn't?
Blue-green villain.
Real blue-green villain. There's Kira, wasn't there? About it.
Yeah, Kira Green was like, even in the list in general, Kira Green was really the only one. There was a Tarkin Blue on the Friday night. Yeah.
I was like, that over the spice, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Tarkin Bill.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, there wasn't much blue-green villain in general.
Because
which is weird.
I think there's a lot of power out there for Krennic to come back, possibly. I don't think Dooku's got what it takes after doing a little bit of light testing with him over the weekend. I think it's a bit too clunky and mid-rangey, and it's not a control deck, so you're playing like a blue-green villain mid-range deck because you have to put so much Separatist in. And then most of the Separatists have the killer mechanic, exploit. A lot of them have exploit, and a lot of them are bad unless you exploit. So you don't want to exploit it. Like, you don't have 3 things to kill to get the value out of Dooku out of a lot of the Separatist stuff. So other than having really good strong early plays by dropping a 4/4 Grievous turn 1 or a 5/5 Grievous turn 1, like by the time you start to hit the mid to late game, your deck just doesn't have the hits. So I think I would probably see more Krennic over Kira, because Kira Although he is good, probably good into Django.
I don't know, because you're damaging your units quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
And even though you're probably not worrying about exhausting, because you can just kill stuff with a lot of the ping damage that you can do.
You probably can't get the efficient Kira trade on leader as well because you want them to flip their leader first, then you flip Kira, then it's just like boom, okay, exhaust your leader.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
It just doesn't seem too good.
That doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Going back to the
why
Duke.
Krennic does, right? Because you have to be hit with some kind of damage to get exhausted, but then at least then you're getting the +1 damage, which means that when you then get traded into, you can more likely get efficient trades back. So I wonder whether or not we'll see a lot of Krennic at the weekend if people have made that deduction and go for it, because historically blue-green villain had a fairly decent shot into Boba, and the Django deck, while good, is nowhere near as good as that, as good as Boba, right? So
no.
And we obviously saw the rise of control on the Sunday, and like one Django made top cut or was like floating around top tables, like
yeah.
So
it can get pretty binned off.
Yeah, so it depends on how. I guess how the meta ends up sitting is if you build a decent Krennic deck that can go mid-range aggro E-style, and then you just hope you don't hit the mirror or like the other control matchup. It's probably a good shout, but then I'm still unsettled about what I'm taking, and it's
You're not going to
5
take
days ago.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about locals in a bit because I thought you were set after Thursday.
I'm never set.
No.
Nah, he lost some games to me at the weekend, so.
Yeah.
Get him. So, do you think? So, I'm quite surprised by the lack of Quinlan.
Yeah.
Up there.
I think people will. Maybe it's not just built to the American sort of like how they like to play, because like that's mid-rangey sort of control, like faux control sort of thing. You do ping and then you remove stuff like that. I don't think the Americans really like. They didn't play that way. It doesn't seem. So
there does seem to be a big gap in.
Yeah, they do have a very different style of play.
Yeah, it's like I don't think they'll play that until it's like properly locked in,
Ironed out.
and it's like oh yeah, this is the Quinlan list you want to play. So I don't reckon they'll pick that up and like experiment with it, as much as they did with Boba, I mean not Boba, Django.
Yeah, and also kind of going on, if KTOD aren't pushing it as a top contender, and there's a lot of KTOD guys in the States, if that's not where their group discussion is focused around like Quinlan, and it's more discussion and it's more around Boba and Sabine, then that's where the focus will go, right? And that's what they'll play, purely based on what their their very large testing group has been playing. You're not going to just go, this weekend I'm going to play Padme.
Yeah, you're not going to go against
like out of all of you, out of all the decks all of you guys are playing, I don't think any of them are good, so I'm going to play Padme. There you go. That's my scoop for Birmingham this weekend. I'm going Padme.
Nice.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I definitely feel this weekend we'll see some more Quinlans, where whether or not they're like green, blue, or red. But I definitely do feel like we'll see an increase in.
It would be so sad if you're not playing Padme now.
Prepare to be disappointed.
Would you? Yeah, I think there's probably more chance there'll be more control players at Birmingham.
Yeah.
They do like it. They I think that's more of a Europe, maybe an England thing. They just people love control here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even at Manchester, right? People were just going hard palps, and we had 2 palps make top 8.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, double green and then the blue one.
That weekend was just Sabine City, and one of them just didn't hit one all weekend.
Yeah,
like what? How do you?
Yeah, how does that happen?
And that's how you get through. Like, there's no way anyone should have taken Palpatine that weekend,
No.
and people did, and they managed to either, take the 2 losses against the Sabines they hit, or just didn't hit it at all, and then make the top cut. Like, Swiss luck is as important as draw luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In any event, so yeah, and it's so tough at the start. I don't even know how many tickets have sold for Birmingham. Yeah, I've not even really checked, but
Yeah, I haven't even got my ticket. I can't even lie. I haven't bought my ticket yet.
I haven't sorted my ticket out either. There are loads. Rock up on the day. Yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah, it's it's bearing in mind like the prize is quite a big deal, right? It's a flight to Vegas.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be much chat about it.
I don't think people are just too involved. Maybe like.
Yeah, I think there will be a good turnout. I don't know whether or not it will get to the shy of, like, obviously there was a decline from the London to the Manchester event of about 40 players, I think. But that's mostly because I think Londoners think that Manchester is really far away. So they just don't go that far north, and you can get there in like 2 hours. Right? I wish I had the transportation links that London had.
It's a funny weekend to do it as well, like the weekend before payday.
Yeah, the weekend before payday. It's the weekend
run up to Christmas
before Black Friday as well.
Yeah.
We're a month out from Christmas. Obviously, they need to get the events in where they can. Like, you can't really have a launch event in January because you're almost into the next set by that point. So you have to get it in. Yeah. It's probably the best they could have done, really, unless they held it on launch weekend, which would have been insane.
Yeah.
So, and I think that just naturally will pit people off from going. But it is in the Midlands. Like, everyone can get to Birmingham relatively easily. Unfortunately, it is in Birmingham. Any of my Birmingham stands out there, I'm right.
I'm glad Jamie's driving. I don't want to see my car on bricks.
Don't take the Jag to Birmingham, mate. We're in like a Sunny Hill, aren't we? Soul Hill, whatever it's called, however you pronounce it. Like, I'm worried. I'm worried. Yeah, so I reckon, just ballparking without even looking, which I should probably look now, that we will have 160 players, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you gave it a little drop off to what it was last time. Like what? Last time it was like 170 people, and then a bunch of people dropped after a few rounds.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a good estimate.
And this is a 2-dayer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tend to do top cut second day.
Yeah. Because they're doing a chaos draft on the second day. Is that right?
There's a chaos draft, a super sealed, a super constructed, and a super draft, I think. There are many side events happening on the Sunday that have also very good prize pools from just for side events, essentially. Right, I'm just going to go in my deep dive to see if I can see how many tickets have sold. So someone do some talking.
Really looking forward to just pulling product. That's what I'm looking forward to. Turning up to the launch event after buying like 8 boxes, right, and a bunch of weekends of weeks of playing weeklies. It just didn't feel that good to open up our set 2 like rewards.
Yeah.
Whereas this time, the fact that it's so early, I kind of appreciate the fact that we're getting a lot of product as prizes. So I'm happy.
Is it very?
Yeah.
Is it very top heavy again? Like, does the winner get like a case? Was it a case?
So, I got the pricing
silly.
So top cut is maximum is 16 players if they get the turnout. I don't know what that turnout needs to be in order to get there. Participation is 3 packs of Twilight of the Republic. Top 64 and better also take home additional prizing. These prizes do not stack with each other. So, top 64 get the Grogu event card. top 32 get the Grogu, a Star Wars Unlimited branded lanyard. Put your badges on it.
Yeah,
nice. And 6 additional booster packs of Twilight of the Republic.
You can wear your showcases around your neck, like.
I was then going to say my showcase Boba.
Yeah, like how Logan Paul walked around with his Pikachu.
Punch a hole through your slab.
And then what's it called? That blue aspect pin badge. Oh, I can't wait to be repping that.
Top 16 has the exact same pricing as top 32. Grogu, lanyard, 6 packs of Unlimited. So there is no difference between those.
They've announced something, didn't they, for top 16?
Well, they're getting I was going to say they're getting the event exclusive Darth Vader thing, but I just read it's top 8, unless they've given that to top 16.
Can't remember. There is something. Top 16 is getting something.
Site, so they probably haven't updated it with all because they have been dropping a lot of extra stuff. Top 8 is Grogu, event exclusive Vader, lanyard, a Star Wars Unlimited branded bag, and 12 booster packs. 3rd and 4th get Grogu, Vader, Luke Skywalker, the exclusive high ground playmat, which looks amazing.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's cool, man.
That's cool.
Will sell big money.
Yeah,
that'll be
cool.
That'll be big. The Americans will snap that up, I reckon. Then you've got the lanyard, the bag, and a box of Twilight of the Republic. Each. 2nd place is Grogu, Vader, Luke, high ground, lanyard, bag, 2 boxes of Twilight of the Republic. Champion is Grogu, Vader, Luke, high ground, lanyard, bag, 1 case of Twilight of the Republic, and a paid flight to the 2025 Galactic Qualifiers, invitation not included. I've got the side event pricing here as well, so we'll quickly go through that. So if you don't make it on Sunday, you can go to the super sealed side event, which is open packs and do a sealed tournament. 35 quid. Pricing is based on win record. If you go 6-0, you get a box of Twilight of the Republic. If you go 5-1, you get 12 packs of Twilight of the Republic. If you go 4-2, you get 5 packs of Twilight of the Republic. The Super Draft side event is the same. Get a top cut first is a booster box. 2nd place 12 packs. Top 4 earns 8 additional packs. And then the Super Sunday constructed side event, which is just day 2 of Swiss for go again, is the same. So 6-0 gets a box. 5-1 gets you 12 packs. 4-2s gets you 5 packs. 12 packs, sorry, for 5-1 and 5 packs for 4-2. And then you've just got on-demand pods triggering, which are all pack-based prizes.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff. And, the constructed day 2 event is £15 to enter for a winner box. Feels pretty good.
Pretty decent.
I think even the sealed and the draft at Manchester only had 20 people in each one as well. Because a lot of people just leave, don't they? They just don't it was much quieter on day 2 than it was on day 1 at Manchester. So hopefully these tournaments will kind of make people stick around for the whole weekend. Even if you do play. Okay, if you do the constructed, you're probably there most of the day, but if you do the draft or whatever, you'll be done by lunchtime.
Yeah, we did the draft in Manchester, right? It was pretty good.
Yeah. We missed out on the cut, but even then there was 3 or 4 people that just had to play each other in a round robin or something, so it would have taken 2 more hours or something. I am disappointed not to see any pin badges on any of that.
No pin badges and no extra deck boxes or deck pods or whatever they're called.
I mean, I don't particularly need any deck pods, and they're a very hard thing to resell as well, aren't they? You can't really just get rid of. It's not as easy to sell as a pin badge or a high ground playmat or whatever, is it? So.
Do you think that these tournaments from season 1, when does eventually start, do you think these are going to be, you're going to earn points for organised play? Are these going to be classed as regionals or?
No, because Americans don't have the equivalent of these, or as far as I'm aware, most other countries don't have an equivalent of these events, right?
Oh, do they not? Okay.
These are just
a separate.
these are premier events that are just launch celebrations, right? Like,
Okay.
I don't think any other countries had them. Like, whenever you get like a random big Spanish tournament or something, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's an
like that.
independent thing,
It's
isn't
an
it?
independent,
Yeah.
like UKTC
Mm.
doing their like 1Ks and stuff, springing up. It's more like that kind of stuff, which I think floats around most of Europe. So, yeah, so it's kind of hard to tell how the tournament structure will really shake out for season one. Like, obviously, it's starting the day after Worlds, so it's starting the end of July. And it will probably also just go back round until July the following year. But as to like if you win the event on Saturday and you get your ticket to the Galactic Qualifier or the Galactic Championship, you don't get your invite, but still no one knows how you do get your invite. Is it just buy a ticket in lottery, or
it's just buy a ticket. It's open to. So I think Worlds this year is open to everyone.
Sure.
Day one, if you've won a PQ, instead of joining in day two, you get to play in the super secret mega tournament.
Yeah.
Exclusive swag.
But how many tickets are there for Worlds, and how many people aren't going to get in?
Yeah, that's true.
Because I feel like they're going to have to lottery it. Like, even in the Destiny days, the Worlds that I went to had like 420 people, and that was at Fantasy Flight's Games headquarters. And they just had rented out a hotel across the way. Obviously, Vegas is big and can hold a lot more than 400 people. But Destiny was a dead game from the get-go. Like, no one played it. So having a World Championship of 400 players, I thought was actually quite decent. Where this has obviously got a much bigger player pool, and I would expect to see a much higher numbers. But I know Magic just had something in Vegas, didn't they? I'm throwing this out there, but like, I'm sure that had a really good turnout. Shall I have a look? Shall I just do more googling? More googling live. Magic Vegas is not going to be something that's really going to pull up any results, is it? Magic the Gathering, Las Vegas, 2024, Magic Con. It was a while ago, end of October. So it was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
But I don't know how many tickets.
It looks pretty busy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Won't hit Magic the Gathering numbers.
No. Yeah, it is interesting about numbers, isn't it? So, KTOD are putting together a block booking in the hotel across the road from the Venetian where it's being held.
Yeah.
And they're planning on booking 40 to 60 rooms.
Right.
So that's just those guys.
Yeah.
And I think their rooms are 2, so that's up to 120 people. So that's like potentially a quarter of the people all being snaffled up by that. By that group. But then, so how many PQs were there? So there were 40.
Yeah.
There's going to be 100. They said there's going to be 150 in the next one, so that's 190.
Yeah.
So if a unique person has won all of those, that's 190 spaces they need to put aside, right? Yeah. So those people are going to get first dibs.
And
so I'd imagine
set 5 will be out and probably have PQs before Worlds as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And if they increase it
Yeah,
again or don't increase it
yeah.
again, you're looking at like 200,
Yeah.
250 people from. And not everyone's going to go, right? Not everyone can just jump on a plane and go to Vegas. Like, very
Yeah.
few people can jump on a plane and go to Vegas.
Yeah, there were a few people that when it got announced who had won a PQ were like, well, can you hold my buyback for the next year?
Yeah.
Because I can't make it that week. It's like, no, that's not how that works. Like, you know that's not how that works.
Yeah. You can ask, but the answer is no, get out.
No. Yeah, no.
Um,
Win another one.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also got the benefit / unbenefit of you being able to go to Gen Con the weekend after, which is either going to ruin the Americans' holiday because they're not allowed to have any holiday. The last thing I checked, I think they just get arrested if they don't show up for work.
It is a very different world employment over in the States, isn't it? So
Yeah.
where is Gen Con again?
Gen Con's in
Illinois?
yeah,
Illinois, yeah.
It's not Chicago, in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, that's it.
That is a hard word to say.
Yeah, and it's a long way from Vegas.
It is, but it's America. Everything's a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a considerable long way.
That is another flight, obviously. You never know. There could be the K2OD carpool driving across state.
That would take
Yeah. Just a
Forever.
convoy.
Just stuck in a minivan with Bobby Sapphire in his Boba Fett fucking vest and pants. Sweating. Sweating.
5 hours is more than enough to be in a car with all you guys. I can't even lie to you. Imagine doing that for like 14 hours.
14.
14.
No, I don't think you understand. But Indianapolis to Las Vegas.
Oh, you'll probably be more. Okay. I was
In
just...
Jamie's car.
No way. No way.
Right.
Oh,
It's
I'll
loading.
talk shotgun.
It is a 27-hour car journey from Vegas to Indianapolis. That is non-stop driving, by the way, like 27 hours.
Can you just imagine how funky it would be in Jamie's car if the five of us were all just piled in there for that road trip in the middle of the summer?
Yeah.
We can't get down the road back when we're seeing a pee.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna get into Slave 1 with Bobby, I think.
Yeah.
And I'll see you there.
Just watch it. Oh. Yeah. What would you like if you were given the option? Which would you rather do, Worlds or Gen Con?
Worlds.
Yeah.
Worlds. I can go to UK Games Expo and do the same thing.
That's true. Gen Con would be for cash, but I guess it's not as big though, right? It's just like SGC this weekend. It's like a 1K, a 3K, and another 1K, isn't it? It's not.
Yeah, but you got to like the swag. You know, if they do a prize wall at Worlds or whatever, like when I went into my Worlds, you know, I just had a prize wall and just farming tickets for days and days and days, and I probably made like 1,500 quid in swag that I sold. Like, considering I had my free flights and hotel, like that was a very. I think I came out of that holiday up.
Yeah.
And I was 3 weeks in America, like.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The prize support's got to be Showcase Luke and Vader, right?
That'd be good.
Cool. They're the only ones we don't have.
Because there isn't one. Instead.
Yeah.
So maybe they've held them back for that. Like.
Yeah.
That would be pretty crazy. That would definitely be like a £1,000.
Yeah, that'd be some dollary dues right there.
I'd get it graded, mate. Get the 10.
Get it graded. Get it.
I've made Jay mad. He's already furious. Like, he can't even hide how mad grading makes Jay.
Here's my hyperspace foil graded Jawa card. It's a grade 10.
There's only one in existence because I'm the only one stupid enough to get it graded.
I'm going to go out of my way to get 0 graded cards.
Yeah. There is a big market for low graded cards, isn't there?
Just scrunch them up and rub them in dirt.
And then send them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean it wasn't perfect?
Right, so let's go off the grand stage, and go all the way back to little tiny Norwich with locals, and what we've been playing. So I've been hammering out loads of Cad Bane green. I dropped all the ramp, and I'm just no good for you. No, now there's 2 of them. Is my ramp, and it's going okay, but not seeing it at all at the weekend has spooked me. I'm like,
So what did you guys get up to on the weekend?
Scared him, mate. Scared him.
just played at mine.
Okay.
Soz. I thought I said.
Basically, Danny underestimated my power.
Yeah, Anakin Red, right, was it could do some damage. It was hitting me for like 22 damage turns and stuff. And that's,
The bravado.
No, you never even bravadoed me. It's just like Wrecker Anakin, and I'm just like, I can't deal with Wrecker and Anakin on the same turn. It's quite hard.
Yeah.
So Anakin, we've brought Anakin up. Anakin was the one leader that's name popped up in all 4 colours in making the cut.
Ooh.
This weekend.
I could see that.
Sure.
And he's really good. Like he's really good, and his ability is also really good.
It's just Fleet Lieutenant on a commander.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, like he could become quite problematic, possibly.
You definitely need the answer, because if you get bravadoed and you can't answer it, it's game over.
Yeah, you're done.
It's like that is worse than a dark saber. For sure.
At least Dark
And
Saber, you have a couple of turns, whereas that bravado
Yeah.
it's just like, that's the only chance.
Because by turn 6, when he comes out and has hit you for 7, and then bravados and hits you for another 7, that's 14. You know, he's probably dealt 10 damage to you at least with Red Hero, right? So it, if not already done 20. So it's a very spooky deck. I think blue is probably the right answer. Although double red aggressions were also really good, and it's a really good card to play into all the Sabines and the Djangos at the moment as well.
Yeah, and yellow could be really good with him because you can
Get all the surprise strikes.
now there are 2 of them. Yeah, surprise strike, breaking in.
Plo Koon.
Plo Koon.
Yeah,
You can now there are 2 of them out. Mace, so you've got you're mopping up stuff with Mace and then
Caddymundi
slamming
as
in.
well, and...
Yeah, it's. I think it's gonna be the one that eventually rises up to the top. I think once people are settled on
definitely
how
quick
to play it.
Yeah.
Considering he's coming down on turn 5, it's still pretty quick.
Will he take the crown off Sabine for the hero aggro deck, or just coming out 2 turns later mean that he's not an aggro deck and he's just a really hard hitting mid range?
I think the latter.
He's
I don't know if he's not from Sabine. I think with the fact that he has to die, like he can push up the breakpoints, right? So like his 3 damage stuff could deal 5 damage and easily trade with like Sabine's units and stuff like that. But I feel like she'll just go too quick or just go space or something and just completely lane dodge him, and then it's just kind of over for him.
Yeah, also damaging yourself is just going to help Sabine, right?
Yeah,
she's chill with that.
Yeah, until Anakin comes out with full damage counters on it and then just completely smashes into your base and kills you in one turn. You're just like, oh, I was literally about to kill you, and now you just dealt 17, 15 damage to me. Great.
Yeah.
but that's it. Like all you need to do with him is you bring him out, you put a hotshot blaster on him and swing, and then bravado, and you've done it.
But then
is he the closest thing that we've got to? What was it they called it in Hearthstone? The 1-turn kill.
Yeah, OTK.
Yeah, it's the closest thing we've had so far, right, to something like that.
In terms of like one card.
Yeah, it's pretty up there with being able to deal 30 damage in a turn.
Yeah,
it's very Anakin-like. It's like all in or nothing at all.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. Especially if you can drop like twice the pride or something ridiculous on Anakin as well, right?
Good card.
+4/+0, and then what? Deals 2 damage to the person?
2 damage to yourself. Yeah.
But that pumps Anakin up to like an 11 damage unit or something.
Nasty.
Yeah, I think pairing him with blue is really good because when you are pumping damage to trade, if you've got a blue unit that's generally got restore 1 or 2, that means suddenly you're only taking 1 damage to Fleet Lieutenant. Wing Leader.
Yeah.
No, Fleet Lieutenant. Whichever one it is, to pump up and trade into something.
Yeah.
Like, that suddenly feels a lot better. Taking 1 damage, pump, trade. And then later game, you're just dropping Lukes and just be like, I'm going to restore 3. I'm going to restore 3. And
it seems pretty good.
Luke is everywhere again at the minute, right? There's lots of force synergy, and he's the best unit in the game. And when you pair it with Anakin, who potentially could be the best leader in the game, that's nasty.
Yeah. However, I think it's going to be one of those decks that completely falls apart to like the boss card control.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I just don't think it'll have an answer to that at all.
Yeah, because you're not damaging the base, right?
Yeah,
you're just grinding them out and grinding them out.
Yeah. And if Anakin does manage to ping a couple of damage, like when he flips, he's just gonna flip at maybe a 5/7 or a 4/7.
And then you just hold a rival's fallback.
Fall him and then he's gone. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I don't think he'll become as oppressive as Boba. I don't think anything will. I think they've kind of learnt their lesson. And just from a stats perspective, we've not seen anything come close.
No.
Other than Anakin does come close, but his ability is, I think it's fairly obvious when you look at like Han, Boba, and someone else. Both Hans and Boba, like resource changing abilities, really strong.
Yeah.
And by far probably the most impactful leader abilities in the game. So I think we won't see any leaders with those kind of abilities with good stats ever again.
No.
I think old Han is going to be as close as you get at a 4/6 with his resource cheat.
Yeah, they've also got drawbacks though compared to Boba, whereas Boba was like, where was the drawback in his compared to like Han? You're sacrificing damage, well, this new one, and then the old one is like you're blowing up a resource, so you're kind of, milling yourself out. Or, getting rid of your hand really.
Yeah,
but those two had drawbacks, but then Boba didn't. So and he had the crazy stat line.
And kind of going on to what I might end up playing in Birmingham is I am going to give Han Yellow a try this week. He is my grind deck for the week, and I will either be Cad Green or Han Yellow. And that will probably just be a gut feeling on how I think. If I think the meta is going to get really controlly, I'll play Han, and if not, then I'll play Cad. Because I think Cad will also struggle to, that kind of hard control, blue-green villain.
I think you might be alright with the Cad. Like, if you kind of build your deck around how like that, that green Boba played, where it's like you can either go kind of early with like with your main deck, and then like put in a shit ton of your like what was it called, the Relentless or something like that, with the one that like stop events. Yeah, just go that way. Like I think you might be okay with that.
And I was grinding out against new Han Blue at locals last week, and I had sideboarded in Dryden Vosses and Relentless Pursuits, and I managed to capture and play my opponent's Kiadi Mundi and like stick a blaster on him and win the game. So I think Cad does have answers against those control decks, but they still require them to play units where, that boss control kind of runs a few, but not many. And I really need units to win the game. And when you go like Zucker's turn 2 is really strong, but if they've got a No Good To Me Dead or anything Power of the Dark Side or make an opening to kill the crafty smuggler before you can then. Now there's two of them. Like my deck will not be happy.
Yeah.
I've still got a good bunch of 3-drops, but like a lot of the power of that deck comes from here's a 6/6 on turn 2. Can you answer it? And most decks go, no, I can't.
No, but like you said, they can deal with a crafty smuggler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think a lot of people maybe had that at the back of their mind with that tournament weekend just gone. I think they were probably a bit too scared of losing that first turn play before you got to play. Now there are two of them.
Yeah, I also haven't watched the K2AD video about their Django deck, but I saw that it's more Underworld focused, and I assume it's running now. There's 2 and stuff. I need to just check it to see how close it is to my my Cad Bane, and just see if I've just done the classic. I've made a Cad Bane deck, which is just a strictly worse version of a Django/Boba deck, and I should just play that one instead. So that will be. I need to check that and get some reps in with Han Yellow.
But it's weird though, right? Because Cad's a good unit. Like he can deal a ton of damage.
Cad's ability
and
is
the ping
impactful
damage
throughout the game.
Yeah.
And he is tanky enough to survive a hit.
Yeah.
But he doesn't deal that much damage.
Does he? Is he not raid?
He's raid 2, so he swings for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he gets attacked, he doesn't deal any damage. Most of the time, he'll swing for 4 and then take all the damage like a ambushing maul. You know, who would have taken like 5 or 6 damage. I'll be like, Cad can take that, and I'll take 6 health maul, please.
Yeah.
Unless there's a crafty smuggler with a little shield just sat there being like, hit me, please, maul. And you're like, yes,
hit me, daddy.
Instant value, yes, please.
Yeah.
You know, those turns feel real good. I think Cad Bane unit is also like the 7/7 capture loads of stuff guy is really good. And can put you ahead. You just need to be careful about when you're attacking and stuff, but that's fine, right? Like, worst case scenario, you play it, you capture a bunch of stuff, and he gets killed straight away. You know, you give your opponents whatever you capture back, but it's all exhausted. And you're like, I've paid 7 to exhaust my opponent's board, like, and make them spend a removal spell. Like, this feels okay.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. But
and
what
about?
Go.
No, I was going to ask Michael. You're still going.
Oh no, I was just going to say, but then that all kind of just comes down to 2 weeks into a new set where we don't know what the fuck's going on because we had such a big meta change with the loss of Boba. So
if you
Sweet Prince.
Sweet Prince, poor Bobby. What are you thinking of taking to Birmingham then, Michael?
I have no idea. I'm in this like weird limbo where it's just like people are saying how Sabine Yellow is really not like really good to play and really fast. And it's fast. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it is fast, but I don't know. I just don't like it how you just gas out so hard. I really like that transition that Green Sabine had, where it's just like you go really quick early, but then you also have Poe and Wrecker to do a little bit of mid gamey, almost late. That's kind of what I liked. But yeah, yellow is fun, but I'm probably not going to take it. I think I am going to just take Green Sabine. I can't.
Okay, I thought you were going to go Savage, and I was just like, don't do it. Don't do it.
I wasn't. No, I'm not going to go Savage. Yeah, definitely going to go Green Sabine.
That was another big surprise of the weekend, is that we didn't see much Sabine Yellow. It was all Sabine Green.
No,
all green.
We didn't. And it is really good, Sabine Yellow. I've been playing around with it, and yeah, it's quite good because I want to have a hero deck that I dabble with over the season as well. And at the minute, it's between that and Yoda Yellow, but Yoda, the benefits cheat. Benefits cheat, and it is the benefits cheat one as well, isn't it? Yoda leader, but I don't have Lukes, so like if I'm playing Blue Hero and and I don't have any Lukes, then I might as well play the game with like that. Yeah. But Sabine Yellow, I have most of the stuff, so
Yeah, it's a pretty
I might give
cheap
that a spin.
It's a pretty cheap
Yeah.
deck, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
and you can sub the
legendary
pose out for Anakin's if you have to. Like, it's not
Yeah.
not great, but it's also not awful. So
Some people don't even run pose in the
Yeah.
yellow
Yeah,
deck.
in the
They just
yellow.
run this
Yeah,
stuff
some
so
people
good.
don't.
It just feels kind of a wasted unit when you don't have ECL or you don't have timely.
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, it's the damage that Poe can do is like tripled pretty much when you ECL him out or timely intervention him out. Right, like you can flip a game on its head, but when he's not being rushed out like that, he can be dealt with.
Yeah, it's like okay, 6/6 there. They'll
Yeah.
just either trade into it heavy or drop a removal spell.
Yeah.
And it's just nothing. Whereas that Plo Koon can, get you a nice little trade.
Yeah.
If it's got coordinate.
Yeah, like I ran my CAD into a Sabine Green that Jay played, and it was like punching a toddler.
I drew like awful. It was punching a toddler.
Yeah,
Just end this, please.
Yeah.
And like there was one, I think the first game was really close, or maybe that was one of the Anakin games.
I think it was the second game because at one point I was like, I'm not drawing anything, but somehow you're on 20 damage, and I don't know how I've got there.
Yeah, that sounds like Sabine, right? And then they just managed to clutch it out, control the end of it, don't get hit by 2 for causes, and then you get to win.
Yeah.
So it's all up in the air. I do like the start of a new set where no one knows what's going on, but also I just wish I had a bit more idea about what I was playing. Oh, yeah, I wish Carabas was working so I could do some testing.
But it's quite interesting because people seem to be building sets around the play style and not the leader now, right? Like, if someone finds a card like General's Blade, for example, lots of people are building their deck around General's Blade, and then going, right, which leader fits this deck that I've built?
Yeah.
And that's quite interesting.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of Luke Green.
More cards are out now. People are just like, okay, I don't have to focus on the leader because there's loads more cards that are good together compared to here's a few cards and then they need to be good for the leader.
Yeah. And I think we'll see like just a shit ton of variety at locals and store showdowns.
Not from this guy.
Not from that dude. But like I really want to play a Dooku droids list, like double green Dooku droids, because I think that would be fun. I want to play a Jedi list. I want to go back and play an Underworld list and a Bounties list and stuff like that. So
yeah, I'm kind of
there's
looking
more
forward
archetypes
to
now.
Next week where I can, try double green Rex, or go back and try Hera. Now she's got one new Spectre.
Yeah.
Brain Invaders.
Set off by Brain Slug.
Yeah.
Brain Invaders. That fucks up Hera. Like, so you can't play half your deck now. Nice.
No one's playing that trash though, so it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to locals and store showdowns. We should hear when store showdowns are soon. Like the rumor was they were starting in December.
Yeah,
So
I imagine they are.
I would have thought we would have had the list. Knowing our luck, there's been an announcement while we're recording now.
Yeah, probably. I'm surprised they're in December though, because of just the way Christmas falls midweek. I feel like it blocks out 2 weekends, like 21st,
it would
22nd, and the 28th, 29th. Ain't no one playing games then.
Yeah, it would make sense for it to maybe start in January, or they just have an extended
window
mid-December, the end of January.
Generally have like 2-month windows anyway, don't they?
Like, yeah, and then PQs in Feb maybe.
Will you guys be wanting to go on more now that it's got like some actually decent prize cards? Well, I say decent. It's a legendary instead of that.
It's a legendary, and it's Gore.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Gore.
Yeah. And it's pretty nice.
I need my playset.
Yeah, that's the if you win it, the top card one.
Yeah, I will definitely go to, Athena, Alpha, Shuffle, Woodbridge.
Shuffle was cool. I liked
Um,
Shuffle.
Ipswich, if they're doing it, Chelmsford, isn't that bad
Yeah,
to get to?
I'll try and go to as many as I can until I get like the top
A
cut
decent
play
amount.
set.
Yeah.
Or maybe I wouldn't want it, and I don't
Or
have
maybe
to
get a
to
little
any
champion one that Jamie hasn't put in the folder for you.
Wow. Man, that was so mean.
Yeah. Right, we're also hitting that magical time again. We've been going for 55 minutes. So, any thoughts to sum up? Jay, go.
You put me on the spot. All I know is I'm going to be playing some Django Red for a little while. That's me.
Sage, go.
What I'm going to be doing.
I'm also going to be playing Django Red for a little while. No, I've got it out of my system. I say out of my system. I'm going to be playing it at tournaments probably.
It's
very
literally
cool,
the deck you've
nice,
been playing
efficient
for
deck.
6 months,
Since
but
the
it's
set
got
came
even
out.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would I put it down now?
Right.
But yeah, I'm no swoo for me this week. So I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna try and build a silly hero deck at some point this week to bring to locals next week and blow all your minds. But like, oh my god, Finn's amazing.
Padme incoming.
And yeah,
I challenge you for a Finn deck.
a Finn
That's
deck.
my challenge. Yeah, make a Finn deck.
Okay, all right, I'll make a Finn deck for
You haven't got Luke's.
locals.
Stop it.
next week.
Oh,
They need
I'll
Luke.
borrow my Lukes.
Got Rose.
Borrow my Lukes. I've got Rose.
Rose. I mean, she is quite good in that deck, but
Yeah.
right, Michael.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts. Everyone's been given what they're going to be playing. Well, I'm not going to be playing Asajj this week. I'm just going to go back to Green Sabine and then, Green Sabine and just make people have a bit of an aneurysm, being like,
You playing Green Sabine tomorrow? Is that 2?
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Good old
Get some
faithful.
reps in. Get some reps in.
Yeah.
I obviously need it. I haven't played enough of the. haven't played enough
I
of
mean,
it.
you might even find 3 new cards to put in that deck. You probably won't, but there might be.
I think I literally just tried to stick Ayla Sakuras in there, but I'm just like, what's the point of this card, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Every time I looked at it, I was just like, is there generally nothing?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But yeah,
I don't
that's
think anything
that's
for the
what I'm
next
going to
deck.
be doing. Just
Yeah.
going back to Sabine and just seeing how that goes. But
Yeah.
to be fair, if it fails at local, I'm still going to take it to Birmingham because I'll probably just face against some people who aren't very good at the game and just take some free wins.
Yeah. Remember though, if you're playing against Django Red, don't slam your Darksaber. Turn 3, and then let Sabine get tapped.
Lose it. Yeah, and then lose
Anything else.
initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, anyway, if I was playing
anything
against Django, I'd flip her and she'd just get force choked anyway. So
Yeah, true.
I'm used to her
So,
dying.
interestingly, the guys that have been playing Django they only have one force choke,
Uh-huh.
and that's it.
Music to my ears. Music.
And I'm like, why don't you have 3? So I have 3 force chokes and 3 open fires.
Yeah, she's
They
just like, oh yeah.
lean more into more spaceships. So
No. Literally, you have
So
that,
a
you
lot
get
of-
3 of those, and you just pwn Sabine, you pwn Asajj if some madman wants to take Asajj,
Yeah.
and you completely cuck Kylo as well.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what happened. So on locals last week, I played Ethan, and he was playing as Kylo, and both times he flipped Kylo. I was just like, and open
See
fire.
you later.
Just doesn't have enough health.
Yeah.
But-
4 health, real bad. That's
Yeah,
going to be my
it
takeaway.
is.
4 health, real bad.
Real bad.
4 health is bad. It's a tough break.
And I'd rather
There's
be
too
lucky
much
than
out there.
good, as the old saying
Yeah.
goes.
El Clasico.
Yeah. Right. That's it for this week. I'm going to stop.
Bye.
Bye.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.